Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, we're going to be talking about, is VS Code too slow? And if you learn Emacs, can you go to PLAID, to ludicrous speed? Not quite, but let's take a look here. So, as I begin my sermon, in our world today, we often talk about speed and performance. How fast can you get something done? How fast can you switch context from one task to another? But particularly for Emacs users, this isn't always what matters, right? There was an interesting Reddit post where the user, the poster, states that VS Code is too slow, so he's learning Emacs. All this is he posted a picture of himself, presumably in the Emacs tutor. So obviously this started some discussion, and sounds fair. I mean, VS Code, I guess, definitely can be slow. Emacs can be faster in some regards, but not always. Some of the other users helpfully quickly pointed out that slowness in Emacs can creep up if you rely on a lot of auto completions. VS Code also might be slow due to the user configuration, back-end tasks that may be running. What I tended to agree with is that in a larger sense, the least likely reason you'd switch to Emacs is speed. The original poster doesn't give much information about what kind of specific hangups they're having. You can see it was just a picture of them in the Emacs tutor. Another user pointed out some important differences here, and this was interesting. It's kind of a good breakdown of what you get in some of the newer, more contemporary performant text editors. So he says here, Emacs is a character grid. VS Code is a web browser. This means you can natively render rich inline widgets, web view-based extension UIs, proportional fonts, SVG diagrams, complex visual debugging interfaces. And this is interesting. VS Code Remote actually runs extensions and language servers on the remote machine transparently. Tramp gives you remote file access, but your LSP, linter, and debugger are still local or require some separate remote orchestration. This is a genuine architectural win for VS Code's client-server extension model. So yeah, I thought that was interesting because I've used Tramp with Emacs before, connecting to servers. It's good for a few specific tasks, but I would wonder, it would probably turn around and bite you if you were actually doing a lot of file editing on a remote server. And this person pointed out that as an Emacs user, I always envy my Vimmers due to how snappy their editor is compared to mine. And this person said, Emacs is the only app I have to compile myself to get a version that works at a reasonable speed. I've still never successfully walked myself right through compiling Emacs from scratch. Some personal experience. I did do a video a while back where I opened up a large file. I opened up a text file of the King James Bible that basically crashed Emacs. And I thought, oh no, if Emacs, I always talk about Emacs for writers. If it can't handle this large text file, what am I doing? But it turns out that slowness was due to a live word counter that I had in the mode line that was chugging things down. And someone pointed out that the Doom mode line word counter is actually pretty good. It can handle large files like that. But basically, as soon as I disabled that word counter, it worked fine. And was editing those text files with excellent performance, of course. So my bad, my stupidity on that one. And like the other guy said, speed is not really the reason I think people choose Emacs. It's not like the thing that really calls to you. It's kind of the opposite because it's an old program. It's slower to learn, of course. There's that cyclical learning curve meme that we see. And the unique suite of tools you get, like org mode, encourage slower thinking and more contemplation. It's a totally different use case, I think, when you get into the Emacs world than just a fast performant editor. I think the bargain that you make when you sit down to learn Emacs is more of a trade-off. You give up some of the more performant, contemporary niceties and easy integrations and onboarding that you get with something like VS Code. In exchange, you get some very unique abilities, more flexibility and freedom. Like, for example, I still haven't been able to install and configure a Claude Code integration with Emacs, even though there are several. I just haven't succeeded with any of them, even with Claude Code's help. So yeah, again, it's probably user error on my part. So yeah, like if you had a room full of students or employees and you're teaching them to code, Emacs would definitely not be your choice, even if VS Code was slower. I think students would just need easy onboarding, not a running Lisp interpreter, not beginner friendly. But there you go. The fact is, at the end of the day, VS Code is simply not Emacs, though. So Emacs still wins. All right, well, that's about it for today. Thank you all for watching. Interesting topic here. And if you wanted to check out my books, I've got Emacs for Writers and Git for Writers. I'll have a link below where you can check those out. Mastering your editor and your version control system for high performance writing. High performer, non-programmer, super users. Well, thank you all for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. I'll see you all in the next one.